Yo, what's up,
Powerful.
man?
Powerful.
We're back. The rule of two is back in effect. We have myself, Warrior Nerd, and the powerful Serpents here. What's up, man?
So first time, it's just been the two of us in like a month now.
Isn't it? It's pretty crazy how quick. When I was typing in the, because I get everything ready on the YouTube, guys, because I have access to StreamYard where we stream. And when I was typing in episode 17, I was like, 17 episodes already? And I already look just like you, man. We're already looking into the future. I'm like, man, what are we going to do for episode 50? What are we going to do for episode 100? You know, because that's going to be really cool. So, man, it's exciting to see.
What now? So that's 16 weeks because we did two of them in one week. So that would be 16 weeks. And we started the first day, the week that Mando season 2 came out, and that was already in October. So we already, oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, and then just think though, when these when these new episodes come out, or you know, if we get some like news like we did that one day where we got 10 episodes announced, you know, we will be able to just drop episodes as much as we can.
Yeah. You know, and we'll have like occasional like midweek type of things, and we'll have special guests probably again next week or the week after.
Yeah,
some really cool special guests as well.
Yeah, we have more guests on the list, guys. We don't know when they're going to be on, but stay tuned for that. Look for those announcements because we got some exciting and a lot in the community too. I think when you hear some of these names that we have for you, I think you're going to be excited.
Absolutely. So do you want to say what it's going to be today? What we're going to do today? Because this is actually I'm really actually interested in this. Like, we're gonna try to keep on the scale of our favorite movies listed from start to finish. Did you add Solo or Rogue One, or did you just do Saga? I did not, but we can do like a separate segment right after and just throw those in.
Okay.
Obviously, at the very end, we are going to be doing like a Q&A. So that anyone that wants to ask questions, feel free to submit them throughout the entire chat. And then we'll obviously like have like a nice little segment.
Save your questions because the chat that I look at deletes after like 40 or so. So just when we get to that portion, and then we'll bring your question up on the screen and then we'll read it and then we'll answer it.
Perfect.
So real quick before we get into that, man, how have the streams been going? How's everything been going?
Fun. It's been so much fun. We're doing we had Road to Max Bow, but we're doing a little pit stop on the way. We're just gonna get Max Vader. We're currently the goal is 700 by the end of the stream tomorrow. I think we can push it to get it by the end of next week or the week after. So Road to Max Vader, then knocking out Bow. That's been a lot of fun. Obviously, there's been a lot of new mods that's been out. A lot of cool mods. There's been some cool Valentine's Day mods that will include tomorrow. They've been really like on top of their game with that. That's been a lot of fun. And overall, it's just been so much fun. The month of February has been great. You know, there's a lot to look forward to, and for both of us, for our entire communities, and yourself.
Yeah, man. With the whole Max thing, I was so burnt out from the last Max run that I've kind of taken a break. But just in doing that and playing HPV, I mean, I played co-op and stuff a little bit on Wednesdays, but instead of like the 6-hour grind session, it's just been like an hour or two. I have both Iden and Kylo in the 250s, and then without even trying, I have Leia well into the hundreds, and Luke is right behind her. So
it's gonna be.
My goal is to get Iden, Kylo, and my assault class maxed on the same day. So I'll have to time it perfectly.
I feel so bad for you because you got max Iden, and it was so much fun. And then a week later, you're like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm on PC now. And like supposedly there's a rumor that there's something along with the Game Pass that's going to be added, and you can connect your PC. So some people are saying that you will be able to like get your levels over like very soon when the game goes on sale on the Game Pass or whatever the case may be. I heard something like that. So it could be a possibility. If that's the case, then
because knowing my luck, I'll get at 998 with Iden, and then it'll jump to 1,000. I'll be like, miss the ship or whatever. Yeah, I kind of just at this point might as well just because I mean Iden's an easy level, so it's not a big deal for me. Yeah. But man, I'm really liking Luke gameplay, man. I'm really digging Luke gameplay. He's a fast swing, so it gets me back into like the action mode. I like his abilities. I try not to ledge people because I know that's the problem with Luke. So I just try to like be competitive with him.
You got to use it to your advantage. It's not cheap. You got to use it.
When I start getting frustrated with those maps that they give us in the rotation, then I'll start ledging people.
But it looks right. You can get some cool mods for him as well. So.
And then, after the Max thing goes, man, everything's going good, dude. the Rev Knights experimented in another game, Escape from Tarkov. It was kind of a success, but I mean, we're transparent with everybody. I mean, it was tough, man. It's so hard to stream that game because you have to be dialed into the game. And like, I was playing it earlier today before the stream, and I'm walking down an alleyway, and you just hear a sniper shot, and then I'm on the ground dead. And then the game doesn't tell you where you died from. You just go back to the main menu. And I was like,
never tried it, but like obviously you're gonna have to start stepping into these boundaries now with new games. Because we did have this question this week on Director Connection when we played Dead by Daylight, and I'm not gonna say anything, but you were. I hate to say it, but I'm not gonna say names, but someone was the first one to die.
So I wish I had the clip. Actually, I do have the clip on Twitch. So a guy named Mr. Boba Fett came into my chat. All right, you guys might know him. We kind of have a partnership with him, And he comes into my chat. He says, "Hey, Warrior. By the way, you died before me, so you were the first one." And I was like, "Did you check the VOD?" We made sure. And he's like, "You know what? I'll go back and I'll clip it and I'll bring it to the chat." So he goes back, he clips it, and guess what? He died 0.2 seconds before I did. I was not the first.
Okay, so you're safe.
So on stream, on my stream, I immediately let me show you guys. I have a Boba helmet too back there. I went and put it on, and I go, I'm the Boba Fett now. So I took his helmet, man.
I have to rewatch that.
It's clipped. I'm pretty sure like H2 or Cyrus clipped it. So it's on the channel, man. It was fun.
Perfect. No, yeah, it's just that was a lot of fun. And then obviously you and I, we're the only two left that has to pick a game. And then before the cycle resets, you and I have to pick a game. Like we have to get on it. It's gonna be
so I'm actually I don't think stress is the word. Whatever like is right under stress, that's the word I'm looking for. Because I don't know if I want to do Knights or SWTOR. I don't know if I want to do Old Republic or if I want to do like another like Grand Theft Auto or
GTA would be fun.
Yeah, but I've never played GTA outside of San Andreas. I get the concept. I know what Grand Theft Auto is about, but I've never played online mode, and I don't know how well we can jump in and like give good gameplay.
Yeah.
And speaking of Mr. Boba Fett, here he is. He's in the chat. If you're listening on something else other than YouTube, this guy's coming in the chat trying to roast us, but I already roasted him. So get lost, kid.
I'm not gonna make you guys play Fortnite. I will not. Like I'm like actually leaning towards it.
But we're all shooters. Like
I know you're not builders though.
I wouldn't be able to build, but on ground level though, give me that.
I know. This game is not like if you can't crank 90 as a ramps, you're just not gonna catch up. I'm sorry, it's the truth. We can do like box fights, but we'll see. I'm leaning towards Sea of Thieves. I've never played it. I'm actually gonna download it tonight probably and mess around with it a little bit, trying to test the waters with it. Boba's been trying to convince me to play Valheim. He messaged me 82 times a day about it, so maybe I'll have to play that too. So there's a few things on the line. So we'll see what's up. But I think for the both of us, for our entire communities, I think February has been a lot of special, very special. If Valentine's Day tomorrow will be fun.
If anyone has suggestions on games to play, I'm always up for suggestions, and I want to keep it. I don't want to break the bank, so we don't want to get the new like. I don't want to make everybody spend $60 on a game just for this. So like something, SWTOR's free for everybody. It's a free to play game. That Valheim, it's only like $20, so it's not too bad, and it's fun. So we would enjoy buying it. So
Sea of Thieves was like 27, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. See, I've never played Sea of Thieves. I've only watched it. I mean, there's a lot of things out there, but we'll see how it goes.
I think we can like say that at least Warzone is probably out of the question. It's not a bad thing, but I just don't think I think there would be like a lot of raging within that.
Yeah, because I'm super FPS competitive, man. I wouldn't I would probably start ignoring chat and try to go sweaty, try hard, and that would be a failure. So
There's Among Us.
I did try that on stream though, and I couldn't do it, man, with the mute and unmute and try to talk. I mean, it was overload for me. So Among Us is definitely not one I'll pick, but I am leaning towards SWTOR. So just be prepared for that, guys. And if it's SWTOR, we'll figure it out.
If come on now, if it's us four playing Among Us, we already know who would be sus, and everyone here that's here right now in the podcast can agree with us who it would be.
Yeah, it'd be Boba if you would get voted out.
Boba, so
yeah.
No, that'll be fun. That'll be awesome. So I'm super excited for that. This was like our first two. This is our first time this is the first time I have not played a non-Star Wars game in like months, since like October. So that was like a lot of fun. It was a super fun experience, and like I always say, doing it with your best friends, there's just really no other like better feeling with it.
Chronic says he was going to pick Warzone for his next one, so maybe but it's whoever's hosting it.
I can't host Warzone. It's just not like you're just no, not me. You can. I'll be there. I'll be playing, but don't expect me to carry you or anything, because I'm not.
I would honestly have already picked Halo had if I was confident in the servers getting me games. I think there'd be a lot of downtime in between games, but I might try to download it, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Well, that's what we thought with Dead by Daylight, and the lobbies went really, really fast. The lobbies were really, really fast. There's a few cool games. Apex is another great one. Apex Legends is a game that really a lot of people enjoy.
And since we're promoting the squad streams too, it's Director Chronic, Mr. Boba Fett, and us too. Also, guys, if you have any game suggestions, let us know. And then if you have any team name, we're trying to come up with a squad stream name, and we haven't been able to. There's a lot of ones that have been said, but I think they're just more like a copyright thing than anything that are really good. Like someone said, the Bad Batch. It's good, but I just don't think long term we could do that. So if you have any suggestions, that'd be good.
I'm gonna tell you something. Revan just said something. Uno. We can play Uno. Oh my god.
I'm not picking Uno.
That would be the best. I'm actually gonna think about that. That would. Do you know how fun that is? Do you know how fun that is? Like with friends, you know how that's amazing.
There's definitely some board games out there that 3D board games that you could play.
I think Uno would be amazing. I think Uno would be amazing. Battlefront 15, yeah, or even the original Battlefront 1 and 2.
I was thinking the Jedi Knight, but I don't know if you need a server or how that works anymore. I'd have to do some research, and it'd have to be
Academy.
Yeah.
Boba Stream Squad, which is like where you get the mods. That's a pretty cool one. So
yeah. Or Mordau. He was saying Mordau too. So there's a lot of options. But the good thing is we have many weeks of this left. So I don't see an ending for us. I don't think there's just going to be a day where we're done with these squad streams, because I think we all have fun. The chat.
It might, down the road, it might repeat. We maybe in like 4 months from now we play Dead by Daylight again. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah. Or like Halloween, like near Halloween. Maybe that's what we all do that whole month.
Phasmophobia is a fun game as well. Yeah. All right, let's get into the movies. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank down our movies. You're gonna hate my list, but that's okay. We're gonna rank down the movies we'll start from our bottom tier all the way up to our top. I think that would be probably the best.
Okay.
Do you agree with that? We'll give reasoning for why we have it in there. You guys can give your thoughts, and then we can just go from there. And then if you have questions, we'll obviously answer that at the end. So, you want to start off number 9? Right from number 9. Here we go.
Man, I hate doing this.
Careful with your words. Careful with your. I know. Because one little thing you say, and then like the Phantom Menace triggered. So you have to be very, very careful with what you say. Okay, I have my list right here.
All right, my least favorite movie. Okay, guys, we're just ranking them, and we'll tell you like pros and cons of it. My least favorite is The Last Jedi, which is normal. Okay, that's a normal thing.
Okay.
I don't. Visually, the movie is stunning. I love the movie. We talked about it quite a bit. Like, it's a really good looking movie. There are good parts in the movie, but overall, I don't like the plot and I don't like the characters' storyline. I just don't think it fits the actual characters. It's been documented time and time again. But it's The Last Jedi for me. Which one are you picking?
So mine is completely different than yours. So mine is The Last Jedi. It is, yeah, and it's something bad against the film. Look, the film is like it was. I think that the cinematography was beautiful. We spoke about that today on Comedic. The film looks great. The throne room scene is amazing. Sadly there was a few deleted scenes that I wish would have been added. That would have been really, really cool. It's not a bad film. For me personally, I love all Star Wars films. However, the only reason I put it down towards the lowest is just like there was a lot. It was a lot of filler in a movie. You know what I mean? It was just a lot of like waiting, and there was a lot of stuff that just could have been removed, just chunks out. And I'm not going to get into it because I know how people respond. Like the whole Rose and Finn sequence, it didn't. The end result out of it, they got it didn't do anything. Like there was no. It didn't help or benefit the Resistance or the First Order at all. It was like you could have just thrown that out. Well, there's still a few scenes, you know what I mean? Like when he throws the saber off, it didn't.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to I wouldn't call it nitpicking. It's just like obvious flaws in the movie. The I can't even remember his name in the movie. The Canto Bright, where
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, his character doesn't feel like a Star Wars character. He feels really out of place. I don't like he took Rose's necklace and then she's sad and then he gives it back at the end like he was a good guy and then he betrays him again. So he's like a triple, quadruple, betrayer. And I was like, man, this is like I didn't like it. Oh, I didn't like it so much that I didn't even read the Canto Bright book, and I read every single book. And then I tried to fool myself, man. When the movie came out, I was like, it wasn't that bad. Okay, I'll watch. I buy tickets for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Star Wars releases, and I watch them all three. So I went back Saturday, and I didn't go back Sunday, man. I didn't. I was like, I just don't. I didn't have fun, man, and that was my point to myself because I watched every other movie at least 5 times. The Force Awakens I watched 9 times. Rise of Skywalker like 11 times. The Last Jedi I've only watched it twice, and I've only watched it once at home. And that was just because I needed to get back, just give it one more shot.
Yeah, I agree with you. For me personally, it's kind of the opposite. The more I watch it, actually, the more I kind of enjoy it. That's just me. And I don't. The thing is, I don't dislike the movie. Like I actually genuinely enjoy it. Yeah. It's just, like when you have the sequel trilogy, the fact, first of all, it's the longest Star Wars film out of any. It's the longest film out of all. I think it's 2 hours. I don't want to quote me if I'm wrong, but like 2 hours and 31 minutes, I think it is. So the fact that it was the longest in the sequel trilogy and it didn't really carry much weight, I think it just separated. It was just so much different from what the Force Awakens was. Force Awakens, I think, was like, like the top tier. How it ended, it was beautiful, and then it just kind of like was just like a roller coaster from there. I did enjoy the film, but just I have to put it down there.
It was like so many things just came out of left field. Like it was like almost too many surprises at once, and I was like, and it just didn't. Star Wars is like not a brain buster type movie. You know what you're going to get when you go in there. Yeah. The heroes are going to win. The evil people are going to lose. It's very straightforward story. And like we knew when going into the Last Jedi, Carrie Fisher had passed away, and I met her. She's an amazing human being. I was deeply sad, man. I was depressed for days when that happened. And going in, I was like, we need a good Princess Leia ending. Like I needed it. And then the way her character was portrayed, granted in Rise of Skywalker, it was made up for that. But man, I was just disappointed in it, and
you expected more. You had high expectations, and that us as Star Wars fans always have high expectations for everything we do. But I totally understand. Like I said, and I don't want anyone to get it twisted here. We love all Star Wars is good Star Wars for us. It's just there's just some stuff within that we get just
yeah,
it could have been better, but it's all good. This is what we got at the end of the day. And
so real quick, so people don't think that I love all Star Wars. So The Last Jedi has some good parts in it. Like we've already said, visually stunning. The movie, I collect autographs. All my Ben Solo autographs are from The Last Jedi, just because he looks like a tank in that movie. I think he looks like exactly what a Ben Solo should look like, even though he's Kylo Ren in that. But his poses in the throne room are some of the best. The throne room's really good. The Snoke, it was fun, man. I like how Ben did that because he wasn't powerful enough to beat Snoke, so he used his Han Solo wits about him to kill him. So I thought that was really cool. I like Chewbacca in the movie. Chewbacca, just like his demeanor throughout the whole movie is like they really nailed Chewbacca. I know it's not a difficult task to do that, but Chewbacca's, to me, one of the most underrated characters. He's literally a main character, but no one treats him as a main character. And I think he kills it, man. I think any scene with Chewbacca, like when he's flying in the Falcon and Crate, I love those scenes with the porgs. So that's really funny.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite scenes was obviously the throne room scene, but I really enjoyed that one scene. I don't know why it always stuck with me. When Snoke was kind of tooling with him in the beginning, and his mask was all cracked up, and he's like, you hear the crack in his voice, this sadness from Kylo, saying I've given everything I have to you. What else do you want from me? And then Snoke's just kind of tooling him like, oh no, you're just like a boy in a mask. And then like he's like, take off that ridiculous helmet. And he takes it off. You see the scars on his face, and like you can just tell that he's so conflicted. And he punches with his mouth. He breaks the helmet apart. And you know what was really interesting? And I think Sam Witwer said this. It's really interesting because it's like the rise and fall of Kylo Ren is kind of like the opposite of Vader.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, fans were like, "Oh my God, there's no turning this guy. This guy is the evil villain. Like, there's no way he's being turned. Like, there's no way he's being turned." And in Return of the Jedi, what turned him? Well, it was his son that turned him. And in the sequel trilogy, it's like the complete opposite with Kylo Ren. You knew from the beginning he was going to be turned. Like, I knew from watching The Force Awakens when he had tears when he killed Han Solo, his own father. Just the fact that he showed emotion, but regardless if he killed him or not, you knew he was kind of going to be turned. You knew he was going to turn. So it was like the complete opposite of Vader. You know what I mean?
He's my favorite character of the sequel trilogy too. I think Ben Solo is one of the most well-written parts of the sequel trilogy. I think. Yeah. The only thing I would change if I made the movies would for his story with the story we got is that he lived at the end. Yeah. And then I would trade places with Rey. I think Ben Solo's story beyond, if we're looking at episodes, 10, 11, and 12 in the future, I think Ben Solo would have been the better choice to carry the movies.
I understand that. I respect that. Just
because of his lineage, I would rather it be led by a Solo and a Leia bloodline than a Palpatine bloodline. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when we speak about Rise of Skywalker, we'll get into that. But I totally understand that, and I can't even.
In the last part too, a really good part of that is when they're in the throne room after it's been destroyed and they're fighting over the saber right beforehand. When he's walking to her and he holds out his hand, they turn the music off for that, which is very rare in Star Wars. So when he's walking towards Rey, all you hear is his footsteps, and then because you're about to get a big reveal, you're about to get Rey's heritage reveal, and then he goes, "You're nothing," or that's what he's like, "You're nothing, not to me," or whatever. And that was a pretty powerful scene with the no music, and then. So I think that was a really, really good scene. So there are really good parts of it.
The entire duel between Rey and Kylo in The Rise of Skywalker had no music. And you know what was really interesting? I remember like there was a trailer for The Rise of Skywalker. And we'll talk about that when we head into Rise of Skywalker when we speak about that. But when they had the Rise of Skywalker trailer, they actually played Duel of the Fates in the trailer. Like they actually played Duel of the Fates in the trailer that they showed the release. So I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get Duel of the Fates in the film. It's gonna be amazing. And then when we saw the duel between those two, there was no music. And like there was a bunch of fan edits that I saw on YouTube that like people put the music in the background. They did the same thing with Maul versus Ahsoka. But yeah, there could have been, obviously there's things that we would have wished we had. There would have been things that we wish would have been different. But again, this is what we got as Star Wars fans, so we just have to like move on with it. But
the biggest failure.
No.
If I can group in the whole sequel trilogy, is the lack of an epic lightsaber duel.
Yeah.
The one on the Death Star, the ruins of the Death Star, was cool. I enjoyed it, but man, if we could go back to 2015 and you said, hey man, you need to double your money. What can you predict is going to happen in the sequel trilogy? I'm going all in on a lightsaber duel that's going to be amazing. I'm going all in on it, and then I would have lost all my money, man.
The prequels were built on saber duels.
Yeah,
the prequels were built on saber duels.
The Dooku versus Yoda, Maul versus Qui-Gon, and Kenobi. Dude, even the Maul versus Qui-Gon on Tatooine beats anything in the sequel trilogy, and it was a 10-second fight. So, and that's just being real. I was like, we're not getting anything. So I'm hoping out of one of these new shows or a new movie. We desperately need a 2020 style quality of a lightsaber. I think that'd be the coolest thing we're missing right now.
I mean, we did see a little bit of saber action in Mando, and I'm sure we'll get more in the Ahsoka series, and of course the Kenobi series. Come on, we're going to have to see some sort of saber combat, so that'll be interesting. But it'll branch off into these television shows. But I definitely agree with you on that. All right, so I'll do it. I'll say my number 8, and then you go number 7, and then okay. All right, my number 8, and like me, I'm like the biggest prequel guy. I love the prequels, but I have to put Attack of the Clones at number 8, and the only reason I do that is because George Lucas even explained it. episodes 1, 2, and well, more so episodes 1 and 2. There's only supposed to be a backstory. He said that on purpose. He's like, yeah, they're not supposed to be like the most amazing, insane films. They're literally meant for a backstory, so you can know that story of Anakin Skywalker. And I think that's what Attack of the Clones was, tied in with The Phantom Menace. I think it was a great film. I did think, like, obviously, like, some of the lines, like, some of the dialogue lacked a little bit, but besides that, I thought it was a great film. I love that, when we see Yoda saber for the first time, there's a lot of memorable moments in that. The Battle of Geonosis, amazing. I think Padme and Anakin's wedding, absolutely amazing. It put me to tears when I first watched it when I was young. I love those sequences. And this is someone who loves Revenge of the Sith. You know what I mean? So it's just, I love it, but I don't know where else to put it because it's not in my top 5, and I just have to. I have no other option.
Yeah, it's right. That's mine as well. It's Attack of the Clones. I'd like to just get the negatives out of the way quick. Just the overall corniness of the movie has it low for me. Padme jumping off of the pillar right onto the animal that Jango fights, ridiculous. Like that's like they didn't even do that in the older movies, like over the top. It's not that it can't be done. It's just that no one would do that. Like at least like have Anakin like force push her off and then like levitate her on the ground or something. Like so just over the top stuff like that. I thought the Phantom Menace CGI was better than the Attack of the Clones. I thought they went back in CGI. I feel like they put all their money into Yoda, which is a very good pro to that. Yeah. And then the Jango arc, Boba Fett's gonna hate me on this, man. I just didn't care for the Jango arc. The clone arc is good. Him, the very beginning, chasing Padme, which led him to Kamino. And then the whole Geonosis. I wish
the whole speeder sequence too.
The speeder sequence. It
was just it's okay, but you can say the same thing. It was just we're still in that phase of Anakin where Anakin's kind of like a little, he's on the annoying side a little bit, and then Revenge. It's like the same thing with Ahsoka. I was saying this the other day on stream. It's like you don't like these characters, Ahsoka and Anakin, for example. Like you're not meant to like them in the beginning, But you take those stories, you get to know those characters so well that, like, in the end, you will love those characters. And Anakin and Ahsoka are my 2 favorite characters, and they both have a similar start. They came off as a little snippy, annoying, and then more and more character development. You love them, and the Clone Wars helped that a lot. But I think the Clone Wars did, the Clone Wars television show did kind of boost the Attack of the Clones a little bit more. Did make me, like it more, and then obviously leading into Revenge of the Sith. But we don't need to speak so much about Attack of the Clones. I think it's self-explanatory. It's not that we don't like the film; we love it. It's just we have to put it somewhere on the list.
The only the overall good, like the amazing parts are really amazing. I can watch from the moment the Geonosian battle starts to the end. To me, is top Star Wars. There's just little things too. Whenever Yoda swoops in with the clones. And then they all pile into the LAATs, and they go over the horizon, and the Clone Wars is literally starting right there, and then it's got the music, and then Anakin's already in Clone Wars Anakin mode. He's like aim the missiles right above the fuel pods, and Kenobi's just right there with them. Like the Jedis go from being peacekeepers to warriors, soldiers, and they fit right in. Then one of the coolest parts for me too is whenever they land, and then they walk up to Mace Windu, and they give him a company of clones, and then you just see him and Kit Fisto run off into a battlefield, and I'm like, man, I want to get in there. I want to see it. I want to see Mace Windu fight hundreds of battle droids in an open field like Battlefront 2, man. That's what I want to see. But you can imagine it, which is what makes it good. And then, of course, we get the Dooku and Yoda fight, which is to be amazing, man. I love that.
Coleman Trevor, of course. No. No. So okay. I respect that. Yeah. So we both So we're 2 for 2 so far. We both have it on the same spots. I think this is now where we're going to probably separate now. Yeah. All right. Number 7 for you.
Be The Force Awakens.
Okay. We're different there. We're different on this one. Finally. Okay, but go ahead.
All right, the Force Awakens, to me, I just have it because I think the other the other movies are better, man. The Awakens was fun. It was new. I do enjoy it. From this point on, I love the movies, man. I really do. I don't really have any nitpicks with them. Just if I had to sit down and enjoy a movie, and I've already watched the other 6 in the last couple months, then I'd pick Force Awakens. There's a lot of fun parts. Someone said a comment earlier. There's The Last Jedi, I feel like Star Trek. The Star Trek moment in The Force Awakens is when Han Solo is in his little ship and those aliens are running around that look like Star Trek type aliens. I thought that was a little corny, but other than that, man, I think The Force Awakens is really good.
Okay. I put the Phantom Menace. It's nothing bad against the Phantom Menace. I love the Phantom Menace. I love Qui-Gon. No, I love Qui-Gon. I love Maul is one of my favorite characters. But again, it's just I mean the music, everything is amazing about that film. I love the Phantom Menace so much. I'm just in a place right now where I just love the movies a lot more.
Is my next one, so we can just knock both of these out.
Okay, that's funny that you say that because my next one is The Force Awakens. So yeah, okay. So we're on the same note on that. Okay, that's interesting. So our 6 and 7 is like kind of meshed together.
Yeah.
So yours is 6 Phantom Menace, 7 Force Awakens, mine's 6 Force Awakens, 7 Phantom Menace. Okay. Yeah, the thing is about the Phantom Menace, I love it. I love it a lot. Did I enjoy young Anakin? No, I did not. I didn't. I mean, I love the I think the actor is amazing. He portrayed him the way he should have, but again, a little annoying Anakin in the beginning. I love Duel of the Fates, of course, is amazing. The music score for the film was absolutely incredible. I thought it was a great film. It's just again, for me, what I consider the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, I see it as backstory. I just see it as the necessity for it is not primarily for entertainment. It was just primarily just to explain who Anakin Skywalker was. And the point of the prequels was to literally give you story to the original. So when you watch the original trilogy, you're like, oh, I know who this person is. I know who that person is. And they went through this and they went through that. And Padme was, that's my point of view on it. But I love the film a lot. And then now going into The Force Awakens, I love The Force Awakens. I watched it 5 times in theaters when it came out. I thought 2015, when Battlefront 2015 came out and The Force Awakens, I thought that was like such a great time. I was in high school. I was like a little younger. I was so happy for all that. And the cool thing about The Force Awakens was like, I think like seeing another Star Wars film it's been so long since we've seen a Star Wars film. So seeing it again in theaters, getting that nostalgia back, seeing the opening crawl, it was just so gorgeous. But I will say this, The Force Awakens is it's like a newer version of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Starts off with a character born on a desert planet, finds an older mentor, comes across someone else, and then planet-killing, planet-destroying planet is destroyed. A weapon is destroyed. Starkiller based on Death Star, same exact concept. They have an evil villain, Vader was just Kylo. It's literally the same kind of like story over, which isn't bad. But I really enjoyed The Force Awakens, and I think for a lot of fans, I think it was their favorite out of the sequel trilogy, and I respect that 100%.
It's a good, solid movie, even if it was a standalone movie. The Star Wars lines are there. He's like, that's not how the Force works. The Millennium Falcon run on Jakku, that was fun. Like, you can't get hype if you're a Star Wars fan and you can't get hype over the Millennium Falcon run with that. It's like you could feel Finn's energy when he shoots those turbo lasers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the only one of the nitpicks that I had, and they fixed it in one of the Blu-rays, is Kylo's voice. In the theater, man, it was really tough for me to understand what he was trying to say. And my biggest, I hate changing a movie, but he shouldn't have took his mask off until he saw Han. I didn't like that he took his mask off with Rey. When he's on the bridge and he goes, what do you think you'll see behind the mask? And he's like, my son. That's when he should have took the mask off. And man, when I think about that, that's why it brings the movie. And I was like, don't think about those things. You shouldn't try to fix a movie, accept the movie, because when you fix it, man, it brings it down. But that's really it, man. But
maps, the new planets that we saw in The Force Awakens was amazing. Starkiller Base, what we saw, which used to be Elam.
Yeah.
Takodana was beautiful. Jakku, beautiful. And a lot of those we ended up seeing like later on in the film, throughout the entire sequel trilogy. So that was really cool.
I do love The Force Awakens, and just talking about it, I do like. I want to rewatch it now.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace, man, I can go on all day. It's my next movie, but Qui-Gon is a phenomenal character. I think he's a top tier character. Just short-lived.
Liam Neeson is an amazing actor as well.
It shows you. It's trying to do what the High Republic's doing. It because we go from like 2 or 3 Jedis in the entire universe till we go back to the Phantom Menace for the first time, and now we have thousands of Jedi, and I think they do a good job at that. We get introduced to Kenobi, which is cool. A little Ewan McGregor when he's young. I have my issues with Jar Jar too, but I can tolerate him more than others. I get his character. When you get to the climax, when you get back to Naboo, the rest of the movie is pure Star Wars to me.
I think Naboo, and I think a lot of us can agree on this, I think Naboo is probably, if not the best, one of the most amazing, most beautiful planets. I think Theed is amazing, gorgeous. A lot of the film was taking place in Italy, as a matter of fact. But seeing it in Battlefront 2, of course, playing like GA or Supremacy on Theed Naboo is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I think Phantom Menace was gorgeous. And again, I always say this, but I think Star Wars, George Lucas's films were always 10 years ahead of its time. It's 2021 right now. If you showed me the Phantom Menace right now, I could believe that it was made like 3 years ago, and it was so ahead of its time. And I love that film a lot. All right, so you have to tell me now. I think we're gonna keep like separating. We're still kind of close. We're basically on the same page. Number 5 for you.
This is The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Yeah. The Rise of Skywalker for me, because I think it's the funnest out of the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely beats Attack of the Clones to me. The reason I have it over the Phantom Menace is because the Phantom Menace, I can sit back and enjoy the story, and I know where it's going, and you have powerful characters like Qui-Gon, but man, The Rise of Skywalker to me is just a roller coaster of fun. I really enjoy it. I like the dark beginning. I like the middle, the build up. You bring in Lando. You got to like a lot of back lore with it, and then the X-School fight in the end. I really did enjoy, and I could watch that movie all day just by the visuals on it. Yeah. So,
mine is A New Hope. I love that film so much. I love it. I love it so much. Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head. Don't you dare shake your head at me like that, because you realize that we're in the top 5 now. So the top 5 now, like, look, I have my saber right there. Don't play. We're in the top 5 now. So I don't know if you noticed this, but you said nothing but positive things about The Rise of Skywalker. So I have nothing but positive things to say about A New Hope. It was the one that started it all. I love A New Hope. I love A New Hope so much. It's just. No, there is no. It's just. I mean, I thought Luke's character development. I did not. When I first saw Luke on screen in A New Hope, I thought he was amazing. I thought it took me a while to adjust. I thought, like obviously, like when you talk about saber battles, Ben Kenobi versus Vader. Obviously at the time, if you're watching in the theaters in 1977, it's the best thing ever. It's like stunning. Obviously, like right now, compared to like, the prequel duels, it does look, you can definitely see the difference. But I love The New Hope. I love The New Hope. I have nothing wrong to say about it. It's just, again, there's just some films that I have a little bit ahead of it. That's all.
A New Hope for me, man, it's like, you meet all the characters for the first time. The sets some of the sets still exist. They're so real that some of the sets still exist to this day. That was filmed in 77, so it came out in 77, so they're filming in 75 and 76.
Yeah.
You can still go and visit these sets.
Yeah.
The Millennium Falcon, you get introduced to it. You get introduced to Han Solo, and he's cool. He's just chilling in the cantina, shoots Greedo. It's just epic, man.
The thing is, that's what I'm trying to say, and that's what I'm saying. Like the significance of the film is probably the most significant out of any Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Like it's way more significant than I'm saying this as one of my favorite films, Revenge of the Sith. It's more significant. It's the one that starts it all. He says the Clone Wars. I mean, you have 7 seasons worth of stuff, 3 words that were said in 1977. You know what I mean? And it influenced everything. Without those 3 words, we wouldn't have Ahsoka. We wouldn't have, so many things. So I think the film is absolutely amazing. But that's just where I rank it. Okay. Is it my turn for number 4? Or is it your turn?
No,
it's your turn. It's your turn for number 4.
Number 4, I would have Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
What you?
Huh?
What do you got? Or you just want me to explain why?
You can explain, then I'll go. See, I can already see us. Okay, we're already getting in our differences now. Interesting.
So with Return of the Jedi, I think it's the worst out of the 3 originals. Again, when you get to the climax of it, when you get to Endor, then wow, you have Star Wars. Like it really starts to pick up. I love Jabba's palace. I love the detail of it. I love the characters. I love the style. But it's an hour. It's like an hour and 15 minutes of movie, and that's a little too long, man. They should have got out of Jabba's palace pretty quick.
Yeah.
Get in, save Han, and then get more to the story. You can get more screen time for Palpatine. A longer Vader Luke scene, which is my favorite scene, is when they're on Endor right outside of the AT-AT, and they're just talking father and son for the first time. He's like, "You were once Anakin Skywalker," and he's like, "That name no longer has any meaning to me." That's my favorite scene in the movie, and I love it, man. I could talk about that scene all day. But overall, it's the worst of the 3, and it's not better than Revenge of the Sith. So I have to put it at 4.
Yeah.
So what's your 4th?
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that film a lot. It was, and I'm going to be so honest with you, like what the films, the reason why, and like people are like, some people, like for you, obviously Rise of Skywalker was lower. But the thing is, for me, you don't understand what it meant to me at the time. Because I had so much going on in my own life that when I was that was like my enjoyment. That was like what I was looking forward to so much. Like I remember for 2 months straight, like nonstop, that was all I would think about. We're getting another Star Wars film. We're getting another Star Wars film. This is going to be the one to close it all. Yeah. And I was thinking about that every single day. I watched it in the theaters 11 times. I watched it a total of 13 or 14 times. When I first watched the film, I was like, the first time I was like, oh my God, this is my second favorite film. And then like I watched it again, I'm like, okay, it's my 3rd. Okay, then my 4th. And and it went back and forth. But I thought there was a lot of stuff going on in the film at once. Like you have to watch that movie a second time. You can't just watch it once and then leave, because you can't. I wasn't able to relax at any point. I was always like on edge because of Chewie died, and oh my God, wait, Ben Solo's now redeemed, and then now this and that, and there was just so much going on at once. And I think if I were to tweak one little thing, I would have. I think they squeezed too much into one movie. I think they should have either made the movie longer, made a Harry Potter type of thing, a part 1 and a part 2, or not rushed that. It did feel rushed, but it was still it was still one of my favorites because of that theater feel. And I love Rey's character. I love her. People say what they want. I love Rey's character. Yellow sabers are my favorite saber. Seeing it ignited on screen with the sound was perfection for me. And there's just so many aspects of it. I think that was the fact that it's still so fresh to me makes it that much better. But that's just me. I do have it at number 4 for that.
If you're having a bad day and you're a Star Wars fan, you should be able to pop in Rise of Skywalker and just enjoy it. Yeah. I love the Exegol part is really good. Even little things like when Ben jumps on the chain and he's like, "Ow!" Like, man. Like
I have been every voice you ever heard inside your head, like stuck with me. That's why I have it as one of the alerts, because it was one of my favorite. I love Palpatine's sinister voice.
Mm-hmm. And Palpatine is the ultimate villain to me. Out of pop culture, he's number 1 villain to me. He's super, super powerful. His origins, like the Darth Plagueis book, the number 1 meme in the world is probably, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis? And it's said by Emperor Palpatine. So
for me personally, it's like there's just so many good characters in that sequence. I love like Kylo's story. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say what my favorite sequel trilogy character was. I mean, I would say Kylo or Rey, one of the two. They're both great characters. Palpatine was. I'm so happy they brought back Ian McDermott for that. I mean, he's an incredible actor. Voice actor. I mean, the voice of Palpatine, just hearing it in the theaters was just insane. If you watch it in IMAX, you really hear like oh my God, you hear like the thunder in the theater. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'll stay at number 4. Okay, let's go number 3 now. All right.
Number 3 is tough, man, because I'll just go ahead and say that the two remaining original movies are my 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And the only reason is because they're originals. It's my childhood.
Okay.
Even though I was 14, 15 when Revenge of the Sith came out, but I was already a diehard Star Wars fan, and my mom was able to get me on like old school movies, like the original Godzilla's, Alien, Blade Runner, Indiana Jones. As a teenager, those are my movies. I didn't care about any of the new stuff. I'm not really a comedy movie guy, like, the Jay and Silent Bobs and the American Pies when I was growing up. I only wanted to watch Indiana Jones and Alien. So that's why the originals, it's tough. But the one movie out of all the Star Wars that really gets me, I guess emotional is the word, is Revenge of the Sith. Starting from Anakin's dark deeds all the way up to the end, man. It's
so you're putting that as your third, right?
Yeah. And it's tough, man, because the story deserves number 1, but the movie can't be number 1 to me.
Yeah.
Because it's just, there is nothing like the story to me in all of pop culture, the Anakin versus Kenobi. It's the most built up duel to me in anything, man. Nothing beats it. The Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier, all those, like, any fight that you have out there that's like the biggest buildup ever, it always goes back to Anakin Kenobi. If you're comparing it to real life or movies or anything, man, like Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed. Nope, it's Kenobi versus Skywalker to me.
Yeah. I understand that. I totally understand that, and I think the films that like probably stick with you the most are the films that affect your personal life. So if your childhood was the originals, it's going to stick with you the most. Yeah. You could see the most amazing masterpiece, but you always have it in the back of your head number 1, like, because this is what I grew up with. That's why for me, my next one from number 3 is just it's controversial, but it's Empire Strikes Back for number 3 for me. I love The Empire Strikes Back. I think it was an amazing film. I think it leaves on one of the biggest cliffhangers of all of film cinematic history. I think it's an incredible film. I think it was amazingly made. I love Vader. I love every single character, the mysterious character of Boba Fett. There's so many great characters that we see in that film. The maps, I mean, the planets that we see, seeing Bespin for the first time, Tristan Transition, Hoth. There's just so many amazing things within that film that I love so much. And like I said, we're at the point now where we're saying our top 3. So it's like it's a thing where it's like we have nothing negative to say. It's just we have to place it somewhere. I have not one wrong thing to say about Empire Strikes Back, because it was literally the most amazing film. Absolutely incredible film.
One question too. I guess, I don't know, I was just oblivious as a kid. I just didn't think about it, or I just didn't care enough to look into the future. When Anakin and Kenobi were fighting, I still, at that particular moment, like right when they started fighting, I still had no idea how Anakin became Vader. Like, I knew he was Vader, right? I knew that, but I didn't know how he became a machine. So when it came time for Kenobi to win the duel, I was like, oh my gosh, he just cut off his legs. I almost thought, like, in my head, I guess I just didn't want it to be Kenobi. I was almost thinking like maybe he was in a crash or something and got destroyed. I don't know. I really have no memory of what I thought was going to happen. But when Kenobi like defeated him, I was like, oh my gosh, like this really happened. And then of course I begged my mom to get more tickets for the next day. Like,
yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like, I remember I showed people the films. This was like people that have never watched Star Wars before. I remember I showed them the films, and I showed them. I always, whenever I recommend, and everyone's different, but whenever I recommend, hey, when you're gonna watch Star Wars, I always say start with Phantom Menace, start with chronological order. That's just me. That's just the way I enjoy them. Everyone's different. So when I was watching with somebody who never watched it before, when they obviously, everyone knows who Vader is because he's the most iconic villain in all of like films.
I get where you're going.
When Anakin rise and said, you shall be known as Darth Vader. Like, the person next to me was like, "Oh my God, what? That's Darth." And I'm like, yeah, like, welcome to Star Wars. And it was like really cool, And like, I love seeing people's reactions for that one scene. So for me, like, obviously, I was very young at the time. I was like 5, 6 when Revenge of the Sith came out. I was a kid, so I don't really remember my thought process, but I do. I at first, if I can look back, I was so young. I mean, the movie was. I would probably say knowing me at the time, I probably thought it was just, you just put on the suit for fun or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's like, it's like I couldn't even comprehend why he was in the suit as a kid. I was like, he's just been destroyed. He's part machine. I just had no idea, man, that you almost thought it was going to end in a draw, and then he just takes off his limbs, and it was like so brutal for Star Wars, man. I remember that very bit. I remember being, I remember what role I was sitting in. That's how like imaging it has on me as a kid. Like it was insane to me. I remember going back home. My sister didn't care for Star Wars. She's like 4 years older than me. And I was like, there's nonstop action in this movie. It's crazy. The lightsaber fight's like 30 minutes long. It's amazing. I'm going back tomorrow. Mom said I could. I was so excited as a kid, man. I loved it.
I know.
Wish everybody could get that experience. That's why I'm so excited for kids that get these, Mandalorian, man, like, or whatever new Star Wars comes out. They get to experience.
I know, because it takes you back to when you were a kid and, like going to the theater, seeing it for the first time. Getting that really experience like growing up and like collecting the toys, collecting Legos, just wearing t-shirts, doing everything Star Wars. And it's like, it takes you into a galaxy far, far away ever since you're a kid. And so it's really special. This is why I always try to be respectful. You may not like something, but just keep in mind that we're all different ages. People were different, like raised on different things. A lot of people within our communities, within the communities, like was raised off the sequels, and like for you and I, it's probably like, wait, raised off the sequels. We're boomers. We were raised off like the original / or the prequel, so it's really interesting to see all that.
And most people's favorite characters stem from whatever they watched first.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever Star Wars film you watch first, I feel like it'll stick with you the most. I'll always remember this as the first Star Wars movie I watched. Number 2, I'll have to put Return of the Jedi for number 2 for me. Mm-hmm. The reason why I put Return of the Jedi at number 2 is because I think it has the best ending to any film ever. And I'm talking like outside of Star Wars. I think it has the best ending to any film. When I saw, obviously I wasn't alive at the time, they had the original actor for Anakin as the Force Ghost. But when I saw Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost, I lost my mind. Mm-hmm. On screen. When I saw the beautiful connection between Vader and Luke, I lost my mind. I think it was the most beautiful story, the story of redemption. There were so many amazing sequences to that film that I loved, that I just thought was absolutely perfect to me. It was such a beautiful story. And I think like with the celebration at the end, seeing Coruscant, I think like if you don't get emotional at the end of Return of the Jedi, then I don't know what to say, because it was one of the most emotional sequences and moments in all of films, and I thought it was so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful written.
They had set up the ending so well, man. You have a very formidable fleet in the rebellion, and they're very excited for the numbers that they have. So they're like, okay, we're going to fight the Death Star. We have the advantage on Endor, and then they get there. Not only is the shield not turned on, but they actually have another fleet in reserve with like, I can't remember how many Star Destroyers it was, but quite significant. Yeah. And the Super Star Destroyer. So then the Endor fight, I mean, it really starts to pick up, man. And then, like I said, my favorite scene is on Endor, but my second favorite scene is when Luke is hiding in the throne room, and then Vader's like, "Oh, you have a twin sister," and then he brings out his dark side. He's like, "You are not
dark side." Oh God, it's like just like his father.
Yeah, and then the what gets me in this one is they start dueling. Vader does get defeated there, but at the last possible second, Vader realized, what did I just do? Like, I just turned my son to the dark side. And then he was like, no, I'm not. And then he goes back and he sees that. He goes, I just turned Luke to the dark side. Luke negates it. He says no. He throws his lightsaber down. And then now he's like, it opens his brain up like, wow, like my son is like truly a sky. He is what I should have been. And then, then Vader throws off Palpatine and saves the day. And I think it's really cool that Luke did all the legwork, but in the end, it was Anakin Skywalker who saves the day, which is a testament to his character. Even though George has not made these other stories, but George being George, he brings it all together, man.
The circle was complete. The circle was complete. He became the father that he never had. And while so many people are like, oh my God, like, I wish we would have seen more of Vader at the end, good Vader. Like, that's the point of Star Wars, though. You're going to go the next 40 years just thinking in your head, oh my God, what if? And that's like the beauty of Star Wars. It expands your imagination. And not everything is supposed to be written in story. When the sequence between, spoiler alert for Rebels, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, when Maul died to Kenobi for the final time, after he died like 3 times, but once he died in Kenobi's arms, and he said he will avenge us, he is the chosen one. He was obviously referring to Luke, but there was supposed to be originally more dialogue to that scene. There was supposed to be more dialogue. Sam Witwer said it. There was supposed to be way more dialogue to that. It was supposed to be a whole sequence, but they kept it so short and so simple because now fans are like, oh my God, did Maul turn to the light at the end? Did he really turn to the light at the end? Or was he always evil? And that's what I'm trying to say. Fans now have this imagination, and Star Wars is all about imagination, expanding your horizon and thinking and create. And you see these fan films being made. Star Wars Theory has his. There's so many most amazing fan theory films. What about Mace Windu? So many different ones. So it really expands your imagination. And I think that's the beauty of Star Wars to me.
With dark side users, the power of myth, the story of the hero is what consumes the Star Wars story. And George does a really good job at, besides Palpatine, because he's the only pure evil one in the entire series.
Mm.
When even in the video games, when Darth Maul gets defeated, he has a moment of clarity. Like, what if our roles were reversed with Revan? Like, what if I was a Jedi? What if I was the redeemed Jedi? And he's like, well, I've gone down this dark path. Count Dooku, and a look of horror, like, oh my gosh, I've been duped, man. I should have never left the Jedi. Like, and then Anakin kills him. Anakin the same way. In the very end, he's like, man, I've done this, and then Maul as well. I don't think these characters are evil. I just think that they've had their lives have been set up to make them that way, And in the end, besides Palpatine, which makes him the pure villain, everyone has a moment of clarity in the end. I think it's really cool to see.
What is your number 2?
My number 2 is Empire Strikes Back, and then I have A New Hope, of course, number 1. ESP to me is they're both amazing, man. They're both amazing, but if I always pick one movie to watch in my free time, it's A New Hope, so that's why I put it number 1. I love the Hoth scene. I think the reason I have it at number 2 is I think Bestman's a little slow for me, but it's still fun.
It's nice seeing a cloud city, like a new planet. I know how you mean. Yeah.
The
Interesting though.
The ending though is obviously you're like, oh gosh, what's going to happen to Han Solo? Is he going to be okay? Because up to this point, in most movies of pop culture, we never got the heroes beat down so badly. Luke is completely destroyed. No hand.
Yeah.
His face is all beaten up.
Yeah.
Han's missing now. Could be possibly dead in carbonite. Eventually, you never know. And then Boba Fett, a very mysterious character that we don't even know what he's capable of. So it's a lot of cliffhangers in that. And then I couldn't imagine being alive at that time period and having to wait a whole year for Return of the Jedi, because we never had that cliffhanger type moment.
Yeah.
Because even at the end of Attack of the Clones, Skywalker marries Padme, and there's not really a cliffhanger there. It's like, okay, the Clone Wars has started. I'm excited for the Clone Wars, but no one's in danger yet. We know who makes it to A New Hope. So, but yeah, man, the Empire Strikes Back cliffhanger is like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch Return.
It's like, no, imagine being in the theaters in 1980, having to wait 3 years, just to finish a story. Like, it's nuts.
It's at that point.
For number 1 for me, it's obviously no other than Revenge of the Sith. That was my childhood right there. And again, just like you said, New Hope was your childhood. Revenge of the Sith was my childhood. I always say it all the time. I used to carry Starfighter all the time. I used to be in the pool. I used to think it was like lava. Like Mustafar, I used to play with the Lego figures, like Anakin and Obi-Wan. It was just my everything as a child. And obviously, I always speak about this, but the way the film ends is it doesn't end with a happy ending. We haven't gotten a Star Wars film since then until the sequel came out. So for 15, say like 10 years, give or take, it was that's how you left off. That was the last Star Wars film we saw, not in order, but it hits so hard. The duels you talk about, you have Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku, you have Anakin versus Obi-Wan, you have Palpatine versus Yoda, which by the way for me is one of the best duels that no one talks about. Everyone puts it to the side, but for me, when like you said, when they're in the Senate chambers and it just zooms out and you see everything with Duel of the Fates playing, I think for me it would be so hard. The music score is incredible. The map, the planets that we see, incredible. The character of Grievous, incredible. Which, by the way, I wish we got more of him.
Yeah,
that's why I'm happy we have the Clone Wars. And then not only that, but the Clone Wars add more depth to it. Then you get Ahsoka. Then you get the Siege of Mandalore. And you really know what's going on during Revenge of the Sith. So when we watched the other week, we watched for our celebration weekend, we watched Revenge of the Sith and Siege of Mandalore, a 4-hour cut. It makes the movie that much better when you see on the other side of things. What's Maul doing throughout all of this? What's Ahsoka doing? What's Rex doing? But man, that Revenge of the Sith for me, it's just nothing tops it off. Nothing tops it off. So
with Revenge of the Sith, man, I wish I could put it number one. But the coolest thing about the entire movie, it's an old George Lucas interview, and I kind of grasped what was going on when I was watching it, but it didn't hit me until George explained it, because of course it's King George, right? He's amazing. So he explained there's two scenes in the fight. So when Yoda and Sidious are fighting, and it pans out to the Senate chambers, and they literally look like ants. And then if you go to the next time you see that is Kenobi and Skywalker fighting, and they're on that little beam that's been destroyed, and there's lava everywhere, and they're holding the rope. You know what I'm talking about? And then it zooms out on them, and they look. All you see is the blue lightsabers. Yeah. So those two scenes, it's supposed to signify how small they are in terms of the entire galaxy, but yet their choices and what happens between these characters control the whole galaxy. So when it pans out, it's supposed to be like symbolic to how small they are compared to the galaxy, but yet how important they are to the whole thing. So like we see the whole saga with just like a group of 20 characters.
Yeah.
And it controls the entire what if Leia does this decision, it will affect a planet on the other side of the galaxy. You know, that it's that type of power. And that's why it's the coolest thing. And when I watch that scene now, I always remember George talking about that, man. It's amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, it sticks with you so hard as a fan. So I think for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like for you, because this is at least myself speaking, I think for like my top 4 to 5, I could all put them as my number. They're all, the thing is for me, I gave you my top 5 today, but my number 3 to 5 change. I'm going to be honest with you, they change quite often, because I'll see it, I'm like, oh my God, like how is that not my third favorite film? You know what I mean? Or like vice versa. So I'm always like my 3 to 5, it's always so hard. It's always so hard. The only ones that have like a solidified spot is like Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi. But you know, it's Star Wars, man. We love it. You know, for us, I feel like for both of us speaking, and everyone that's here right now watching, I feel like we could all have throughout all the films, all of them could be our number 1. You know, just because we love it.
It's like you take everything, because it really is just one huge story.
Yeah.
So like the awesomeness of Revenge of the Sith piled in with The Last Jedi, and it makes this one huge story. It is okay to have a couple failures throughout, and then you just have this one huge, awesome story. And that's why when all these new things come out, man, we're just as happy. I don't think there should be comparisons. Like The Mandalorian compared to what we get with Kenobi is going to be 2 different things. So when I like The Mandalorian better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but it's 2 different stories. It's not, you can enjoy both. There shouldn't be a competition between the 2 episodes. Like what if it's just, Kenobi, you get a backstory of how broken he is as a man for 4 episodes, and it's just pure storytelling. There's no action. What if he never even draws his lightsaber?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, to believe what he went through.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when we watch Revenge of the Sith, after we watch the Clone Wars, you already know he lost the team. He lost so much, and it hits so hard. You're absolutely right on that. But I enjoyed that. I think, someone said, let's do our favorite characters 1 through 10. I think that would be amazing. Favorite top duels, we could do that down the road as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was no special guest this week, so we really wanted to this is something that's been on my mind. I've wanted to know. Yeah. I wanted to know your top 9 forever now. We can do this though. If you are interested, we can throw in the spin-offs where they rank along those. I think that's really hard. It's really difficult putting them into place.
So I have A New Hope, ESB, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi. Then I have Rogue One, and then I have Rise of Skywalker, then The Phantom Menace, then Solo, Force Awakens, Attack of the Clones, Last Jedi.
Yeah, I would probably, so I'm editing it right now, I would probably put, if I'm looking at it right now, I would probably put Rogue One at number 6, right under A New Hope. Right under A New Hope, because you can't have Rogue One without A New Hope. But I put Rogue One right after A New Hope, and then I have Solo right in between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
so, kind of simple.
Rogue One is so epic to me, but so late in the storytelling that I can't put it above the other ones that got me into Star Wars.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a masterpiece. But for me, like I said, I do have Rogue One over Solo. I did love Solo a lot, but that's just me. Did you put Solo or you put Rogue One?
Solo's farther down the list. Rogue One's higher up.
Yeah. That's what I thought. No, that's what I thought.
Solo to me is it's a fun movie, man. I love it, man. I can still watch it. The characters are the only character I didn't like is Lando's droid.
L3.
Yeah, L3. Lando's a phenomenal character. The cape. He keeps calling.
We're gonna see more of it. We have a Lando series coming up, so it's not gonna be the last time we see him.
One of my go-to quotes ever is just something that's funny to me is I say Han, and then everyone and I'm always like, "What's up, Han?" You know, because he just does it to get under Solo's skin, and he can't stand it, and I love it, man. He's just, and then Alden is like, "It's Han," and he goes, "Okay, Han." You know, he doesn't care.
He plays Han perfectly, though. I thought the cast for that was Emilia Clarke was stunning. I hope we get more of Qi'ra and Maul. Their relationship. Ray Park posted something on Instagram the other day. I will try and pull it up for you. That was kind of interesting.
I think we're definitely going to get more Qi'ra. Everyone knows my all-time favorite actress right now is Emilia Clarke.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
But with the ending of Game of Thrones, I think that she definitely needs work, and I think Disney will be the one to provide it for her with some form of Qi'ra. And then he hasn't said anything, but Jonas, the guy who plays Chewbacca, he's really picking up his promotion on Twitter. So I'm kind of thinking he's getting back in the suit soon.
Yeah. I'm trying to find this post for you because Ray Park did post something on Instagram the other day. That like he was showing that he
I seen that
on Maul, like might be back to Maul. So
I hope it's not Kenobi though, because then I think it takes away from the Rebels.
That's very true. That is very true. I'm gonna try and find it for you. Oh, yeah, here it is. Perfect. See, if you look right here, he uploaded this to Instagram, and I don't think he would just upload it for any reason. This post right here.
Yeah.
I have to sign in, so I can't zoom in on it. But yeah, so he's definitely going to be – there's something in the works. My point of view, I think it's either going to be – I think it's going to tie in with Lando. I know it's a wild approach, but that's just my opinion on it. And if you don't know, this is the actual actor for Darth Maul. He played him as in The Phantom Menace as well as Solo. He did not do the voice in Solo. Sam Witwer did the voice in Clone Wars, Rebels, and
definitely okay with them sticking on that because I think they got the voice work down pat, and then I think Sam Witwer is such a talented actor that he can bring the voice out with any type of lip movement that he needs.
Yeah. So I say if there's any questions that anyone has, we will be happily to answer them while we wrap this up. I did have a little. I don't have it right now. Let me get something. I'm going to get a surprise going right now. I have a little surprise I wanted to share.
If you grew up in the originals, how would your feelings be older? I think it would change. I'd kind of be more like Serpents. I would probably have Revenge of the Sith, #1. And then you also asked, Blue Canary, you also asked what order. I always say chronology just to not confuse new people. I think if you're trying to explain to them like 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, 3, it just gets out of hand. Just might as well start them at 1. I know that might not be the right answer, but it just makes it easy if someone who doesn't even know Star Wars, just get them started from the very get-go.
Yeah. I prefer watching in chronological order. That's just me. The only reason I say that is just because I just love, like I said, that one part. I just love seeing people's reactions to like, oh my god, that's Darth Vader. You know what I mean? So something like, that's just me. But and
favorite comedic moment in the saga. That's tough because I'd have to like sit down and look at them all overall. The one that pops up to me is that's not how the Force works. I don't know. That one just always literally made me laugh. The one that the theaters killed, where the entire theater like literally LOL'd, was when Yoda walks into the Emperor's office.
Yeah, and then like throws them off. Yeah.
Like, and then it got serious real quick, and then it was like everyone's laugh. They were like, "Ha!" Like that's how quick it went.
Yeah, I did want to say that it didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you, and we were talking about The Last Jedi. That moment with Poe and Hux, in the beginning where he's like, "Oh yeah, tell him I have something for." It was funny, but like that was. I won't lie, it did not feel like Star Wars.
Yeah, Poe's really funny. Yeah, he does it with Kylo too. He's like, you take the mask off, or do you go first or I go first?
Yeah,
Poe's a really good character. I think he's needed in the story. Poe, there's more funny moments in the sequel trilogies than any other.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there were some light moments about it, and I liked that a lot. There was a few scenes in Rise of Skywalker as well.
I guess we'll just address this without getting into it too deep because we're trying to avoid that talk. But what do you think they're going to do with Cara Dune? I just think they're going to do literally nothing. You'll never see her name again. You will in the what's it called? Rangers of the Republic. She just won't even be a character, and then Din will never go and visit her again. I think that's just how they're going to do it. There's no write-off or replacement.
I had one surprise before because I don't have a face camera on stream, so it's really hard to show stuff like this. But I do have one surprise here. If this dog would come up here, I did want to say hello. I wanted you guys to say hello to my dog.
Oh, she's huge.
She is a huge baby.
Jesus.
She just went to the groomers today, so she looks kind of nice. Her name is Madison, so I just wanted to, at least I could show her on the podcast, and she just wanted to say hello.
That's a Wookiee right there. That was a big.
She is a tank. She's a tank. She's like, she's not. I don't think she's bigger than Malik. She's about 70 pounds though. So I just wanted to.
Yeah, Malik's around.
Literally, just say hello. That's all. She just wanted to say hello.
I guess Malik is.
I'll share pictures in the Discord later, but she's she's happy that she went to the groomers today.
That's awesome, man. Do you think there will be a Crimson Dawn Kira series? Not. I think they're going to do something with the Solo storyline. I just don't know what. I don't know if they're going to do a Solo 2 or if they're going to do spinoffs. I think a Solo 2 would be very well. I think Solo 2 would get more at the box office than Solo 1.
Yeah. Solo 2, a sequel to Solo would be really interesting. I don't know. I just feel like there's just so much plot with Maul and Kira that they have to touch on. That would be I don't know. Down the road, that would be cool. Maybe we see a Maul, a series, but it hasn't been announced. But we'll see.
I personally just chronology, man, just one through the order, whatever it takes place. So if they did a Harry Potter movie, if I was to sit down and we had all the stories, I would watch it for the whatever year to the very end of the year.
What breed is she? She is a Bernedoodle. She's a mix between a Bernese and a poodle. I actually have 4 dogs. She's just the one that, she's the young one. When we got her, she was 15. I'll share pictures in the Discord right after stream. I'll share pictures in the Discord.
Powerful dog.
And then Powerful Warrior has Malik. See, I wasn't creative enough. I should have named her like Ahsoka or something like that. But
it shows you how much into the Old Republic that I am, because Malik is now 10 years old. I got him in July of 2011. So, I named him Malik way back then. I was involved in it so much. Yeah. Do you think Glenda will be a Solo sequel show? I think they're probably going to go that route. I just hope it's a Solo too.
Man, that would be awesome.
Any more questions going once? We'll give it a few seconds. What you have a Valentine's Day stream?
Yes, we do. We are giving out a few things. So the Fulcrum points end tomorrow. So we'll have prizes for that. First place we get a Darth Ray Black Series figure. Second place we'll get a Sabine Wren Black Series figure. Third place we'll get a Funko Pop of choice. Any Funko Pop of choice on the Funko website. giving out a Darth Vader Valentine's Day Funko Pop, the new High Republic book, which, by the way, have you ordered yet? Into the Dark, and this is from Shine Darkly. This was his gift to the community. Have you ordered it? Pre-ordered it or anything?
I do have it. I was gonna start it yesterday. I have not, so I should have it done within a week or two. I'm excited for it.
And then one more Darth Ray figure, and then it'll be so much fun. I'm so excited. And then we'll have Valentine. I didn't even know, but there is like some close to Valentine's Day mods as well. So, and yourself, you will be correct.
Yeah, real quick, ranking favorite characters. I think that's another episode we're going to do.
That. We'll definitely do that, as well as favorite duels as well.
And last question, what do you think the Rogue Squadron movie will be about? Wedge and his crew, or will it be post episode 9? I think Wedge is a good pick, but I don't know how they would do the actor. So there's the Rogue Squadron books, the X-Wing series, like the Back to War. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I don't think it'll be post episode 9. I would love that. That's my dream come true. That's like two contents that I'm praying for and dying for. I would love more Maul content, Maul series, and then I want post episode 9. How's your day?
No, my day's good, man. My day's good. So for me, man, it's business as usual. I start, Monday through Friday. I'll be back at 3:15. The key thing here, though, guys, for this week is I posted a YouTube giveaway. So on Star Wars Quick Clips, you got to do minimum work. Just watch the video. It all makes sense. Kibbs, Miller, Shine Darkly, and I think 2 other people so far have already entered in the giveaway, and they moved on to the next. And I promise you that in about, I'd say 3 weeks, when the person wins the giveaway, you're gonna sit there and be like, why didn't I just do what he told me to do on YouTube? It's so easy. I could have won all that. That's amazing. Like, what the hell? That's the type of giveaway I'm trying to do.
So excited.
I want people to be.
I might have to enter. I'm gonna have to go back on your YouTube videos and enter right now.
I'll just say what it's called. It's called the lower levels package. That's what you're going to be winning. So think about whatever your imagination can come up with.
Just don't lose out on this opportunity.
It's so simple, man. It's so simple. And the fact that I know that not a lot of people, I can almost predict that there might be 15 or 20 participants. So your odds of winning it are pretty high. And
that's like similar to the Road to Max. I wanted to be a thing where, like, those that work for this could get it. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it special. That's what makes it special.
And then the reward will be, when that person gets their Darksaber on when they win it, man, they're going to be so proud of that. It's not
wheeled it up and exactly.
I bought this Revan saber. If I were in a contest that took 5 months, dude, it'd be like one of my prized possessions. If there's a fire, I might just put this on my back. So it's really cool. Other than that, man, I think that's about it.
That's it.
We appreciate you guys. We'll see you on our stream. Serpents will see you tomorrow, and I'll see you guys Monday.
Thank you guys so much for everything.
Peace.